as we have the column, right, with the beam. The next thing what I want to show is what is an X moment, Y moment, and Z moment, right? So in your instructions, if there's a moment given, as far as I remember, there is one. Is there in practice 4, is there a moment given? It is, right? So you have a moment given. Okay? So in which direction does the moment go? Let me demonstrate this with this one, right? So if my axle is like this, then this one would be here a clockwise rotation, right? Can you see that? Which means that is what we call a C moment, because my axle goes into the C axis. So this would be the C axis, and we not just have a clockwise rotation, it would be negative. If you do the other way around, it's going to be a positive, right? That is C. For this one here, remember, I think one of the moments is like this one here, which is this, right? So which means this one is a C moment. Here, this one here, it's my axle. So now I rotate it clockwise, right? So which means if I draw it like this, it is a negative C moment, Z moment, right? Can you see that? Yeah, it's just simply look at this here. There's a point here on which you have this X. If you have this one, that would be my X, and this one would be here my Y moment. Make sense? Did you see that? Yeah. Like this. Simply imagine this is my where my pointer is from this one here. That's my pointer here. Simply like this one here. Okay. Here. And where is it attached to? And it's like a pointer which is right like this. Right? So that means that goes out, which means if you want to have a positive, this one here, as I drew it, it is negative because it's clockwise. So I write down, and it is C-axis, which means now I put here minus, say, 200, for instance, just an example. Minus 200, and Y forces minus 1000. Okay, and I give it a load case, a load column, and there it is. And there you can actually check. It is clockwise, as you can see, and there's a force here which goes down. That's precisely what you have. So in your case, I'm not sure whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise. That means if it's in that direction, physically it doesn't make a difference, because whether it goes in that way or you bend it in that way, who cares? But if it's actually in the instructions, say it is counterclockwise, then you must change it. And you can change it very simply by here, instead of, there's this, remember this one here, the starter sheet, which shows you basically all what you have done, right? And here I have my node loads, and now I make it 200. Okay, close, and now it turns it around. So you can always adjust your loads accordingly. Material properties similar. What you can't change easily is the length, because this is not a perfect feature for this one. You need to use the scale function, like what we did in AutoCAD, for instance, right? Scale function or stretching function, something like this. But this is not the subject. This is it. So these are the two differences compared to your beam. The load and the support. So I'm not sure if I run the simulation, let's say run it. Okay. Design, to run it. I'm not sure whether I have defined. Okay, input some action first. Okay. So let me just put a section here. So let's take here, just for fun, I make it a round one. Okay. 500 mil. Okay. And I apply here concrete. Oh no, sorry, that's so stupid. Because no, let's not make it. Make it 400. I'll make it 500 times 500. 500. 500. Okay. Okay. Oops. Shape. Oh. 400. Oh, okay. This one has to be deleted. 500. Okay. Okay. And make it N. Make sure that you choose the right concrete. There, and then let's run this analysis. I do not want to go into the details here. This one here. Okay. The only thing what I want to show is the final result. So you run the simulation as you did with, and then you remember here. First of all, of course, you have to click the beam. And then you do here exactly the same thing when you did your beam analysis, right? The concrete beam, now underneath actually concrete columns, exactly the same feature. Click on this. All right. Oops, where is it? And then here. And then you get everything delivered. And from also the people, you have to make sure first of all, because it is default values here, which comes from space gas. So that means you must check your track description. It says, for instance, we have no sidebars. It means we have only top and bottom, right? So which means you must now change simply in the same fashion as you did change the parameters for the beam. So make sure that you have the cover the same. The only also another difference is there's no, you see there's no zones there. There's only one cross structure. You don't have to choose anymore. And that's it. Right? So if the case happening, I mean for some people, when you have, especially when you have very high KU values, and you basically put everything in there, right? And you still might not get it to pass. Then you manually increase the amount of steel. That's the first thing and the only thing what you can do. You cannot change the cover because it's fixed. The dimension is fixed. The only thing what you can change is here now the top and the bottom, the amount of steel. So you can increase the amount of steel. Or the diameter if you want to. It can happen for some people, although you did the calculation, it might not get it passed. But for those people, again, you simply now manually, that's why you have this tool. Because what you did was your analysis, right? Which means you did approximation, you used the one which you basically as a guideline. But you check your results with space gas. And if space gas says it doesn't pass, then it doesn't pass, although your calculations say it does, right? So don't worry about it, simply submit your work. If KU is there, the only thing what you need to do now change here, right? So once you have done your analysis and your calculation says everything is fine, this is the amount of steel I have, that's the submission. If space gas tells you no, it's still not a pass, then you adjust the steel. Right? You simply increase the amount of steel, right? Because you can only increase, at the moment I have 1% here, I still have a bit of going. Remember, for the column I can have maximum up to 4% of steel. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think now you should be able to do the modeling without any further problems. So make sure that you have it by today, so then you can submit. And then we have wrapped it up, and then I want to continue with the steel and don't look back. Well, we have to, of course, we have to come back when we do the project, right? Again, this will exactly happen again. This will exactly use the same thing for your project. So make sure that you have documentary, you have everything ready, so that you can actually reuse it. Right? All right, then I shut my mouth, and now it's your thing. If you have no further questions, then I'll leave you to that. Good. Thank you.